the lead singer in one of the most successful bands currently making music and touring in the UK. And you come off a big tour, off a new record, and you end a long-term relationship. Your fellow bandmates and you are getting older. You've now essentially achieved your dream of being a self-sufficient, band. What do? You fly to New York. You take time for yourself to just be. You fly back to England after a little while. You rejoin your band. You bring them some of the greatest lyrics you've ever written. And as a band, you put out one of the best records of your career. This is the takeoff and landing of everything by Elbow. This is their sixth album, and this is the third record in what I generally call their phase two. Phase one being their first three records, Asleep in the Back, The Cast of Thousands, and the Leaders of the Free World, being more more rock and roll records, definitely. And then phase two, starting with 2008's uh, The Seldom Seen Kid, and then moving up to now this record, The Takeoff and Landing of Everything, is is a group of records that are a little more introspective, a little less angry, a little more musically sensitive, um, but don't take that to mean that they are softer necessarily sounding. Um, they still pack a very big punch. Elbow writes music that challenges the listener to deliberately stop what they're doing and actually actively listen to the record. Now, that can be a difficult thing to do in this day and age. We're very busy people out here, and a lot of music listeners have become consumers of fast, upbeat tempo, up tempo. You know, it, sounds really great because it's always loud type of pop music. And Elbow comes from a school of thought where records should be more deliberately listened to, and an album can only be appreciated, and sometimes the songs individually can only be appreciated fully when they are listened to as part of a whole, which can make things kind of difficult for a lot of bands in this day and age because everyone wants to be fast and now, and they want the next big single, and they don't want to take the time to actually listen. So if you're already a fan of Elbow, well, chances are a year after its release, you've already picked this up. If you haven't heard of Elbow, the very quick and dirty description of what they sound like is imagine Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here or Dark Side of the Moon, and take out the Pink Floyd's vocals and add the vocals of Peter Gabriel. And that gives you a very quick and inaccurate, but it's hard to describe what they sound like. And that's the best description I can give you. They are craftsmen of the highest order, which isn't to say that they necessarily are inaccessible in the musicality. In fact, when I first listened to this record, uh, as it is with every Elbow record, I find, because they are so involved and do require so much active listening, I didn't love it at first because I always forget from the previous record that I didn't love it at first either. And then I end up loving it, and then I think, oh, new Elbow record. I'm going to love this as much as I love the last one. And then I put it on, and I forget that as much as I love music, I don't always have time to be mindful of it. It's sometimes just on the background, and I'm able to grab onto a chorus or grab onto a particular uh, drum beat or guitar lick that I always loved and always catches my ear. Again, with Elbow, they require active listening, so it requires more time to fully enjoy. You will not be disappointed. The one thing I thought when I first listened to this record, however, was that Guy Garvey's lyrics had surpassed the musical abilities of the rest of the band to enshroud the lyrics, to give them the proper springboard to be adequately appreciated. And again, shame on me for that thought, because the musicality on this record is absolutely fantastic. It is not by any means as musically aggressive as some of their past releases, and it is often very much taking advantage of the full dynamic range that Elbow painstakingly makes sure that their albums are mastered to. So the noise floor on this record is um, where it should be and gives a lot of headroom so that for the moments where it does get louder, you can actually hear an audible difference from the quiet moments to the loud moments, which is the way records should be produced, but are not any longer. So it's been out for a year now, and it's just as good, and it holds up just like every other record in Elbow's career. And that's really all I can say about it. This is Elbow's sixth album, The Takeoff and Landing of Everything, and I highly recommend you go to elbow.co.uk to get more information about the band. And if you're in the UK, you can buy their beer. They have their own beer, of course, because what else would a Manchester pub band that started out in the pubs do except make a beer? Good for you. Um, they're doing a lot of touring across Europe this year. They're not going to be in North America in the foreseeable future, which is a shame because I missed them last time they came through to the Toronto area, and I am forever kicking myself about that. They put on fantastic live shows. In fact, if you want to pick up something before this, if you've never heard of Elbow, a great album is their Live at Jodrell Banks double CD, which is ostensibly a greatest hits album with a lot of fun in between. Guy Garvey talks a lot, not unlike me. So, my name is Daryl. I've been your critic. Go out and discover new music and take the time to actually sit yourself down and listen to it.